Yeah, so I was saying for this chapter, chapter 14, in fact, the last 3 chapters, so we'll do what we can do today. Wednesday, we'll finish. It's about the router, anything related to a router. And Saturday, we continue with our labs. Next week, we continue with labs until we finish. And 15, 16, 17, we don't have class. And I think your exams start 18 and 20th, I think. So we need to double check on you. Yeah, so this week we finish all of the theory. We continue with PTSA1. We finish on Saturday. Next week we do PTSA2 until we finish. And then this week you take it to finish all your chapter exams, do your revisions, and we meet at PUT. So a router, as I explained, it's a device, a layer 3 device dealing with IP addresses only. And inside we have a list of remote networks or remote destinations. This destination has been added in the routing table via 2 ways. You can yourself, the network engineer, manually add the remote networks. We call them static route. Or we can activate a protocol to automatically share database between routers. If I know a route you don't know, I share it with you, and you share with me what you know, and we are all happy. We all know everything. So we'll use static routes and dynamic routing protocols to do our labs. So a default route is a route that will face with ISP in case I don't know where to forward that packet. I don't know the destination. Then I send it to. So we have time to do all these things. We have time to do all these things. So we'll see how to do some configurations. The basic configurations, for IPv4, for the 3 password encryption, IPv4, IPv6. So quickly, 1 minute, check these configs because we're going to use them a lot again. The basic config, the 3 password and what, and IPv4, IPv6 on an interface, and how to save also. Okay, so we'll have time to verify your configs, as you know. What else we'll do with the router? Yeah, to filter. Okay, this one we'll do via some labs. How to filter the content. Yeah, you see this. We'll get labs. So as soon as we finish PTSA1 and part 1 and part 2, we'll also do all these. So what is a routing table? A routing table is a list of, I'll show you. Yeah, so this is what you call a routing table. In the router, it's a list of routes or a list of networks, remote networks the router knows about. It's like you want to go, I don't know, somewhere at the airport. You don't know where to take your plane, the gate to take your plane to your destination. You ask the security will check on his notes, say, okay, I know, go that way. So that security guard is like the router. So all the listed remote network are added either manually, we call them static route, or dynamically, automatically added by someone else, by a neighbor router via dynamic routing protocol. So when you see a route, we have time to do many times, so no worries. When you see a network like that, in front, there is something that will tell you how this network has been added in my routing table. So you see O, so you have some codes, L, local, C, connected, and you see O is OSPF. OSPF is a dynamic routing protocol. So O, which network has been added in the routing table via dynamic routing protocol, OSPF. So here, for example, you see C. C means directly connected. It's a network that is directly connected. L means the interface of the router that is connected to this network. The IP address of the interface. We'll do a lot of labs, you know. So all these codes will indicate how this network has been listed here. C means it's directly connected, so automatically it's there. L is the IP address of the network connected to the router. O is the dynamic routing protocol and all of this stuff. So you have some codes here. Yeah, so you can read this, very, very important with the codes. Okay, so this is an example, routing table. This is a network. O means it has been added via OSPF, a dynamic routing protocol. Here is the remote network that has been added in the routing table. Here we have what we call administrative distance and the metric. We'll check that. Via which interface, timestamp, and via which. So all this stuff, we'll be doing them. So each number is listed here. So root source, this one. Number 2 is destination network. 3, administrative distance. So yeah, you can check here. Very important also. We'll do many times, so no worries. Okay. So if it's directly connected, you'll see C. If you see L, it's the IP address of the interface that is connected, that is connecting this directly connected network. So static route, as you know, we add manually ourselves. There is a command for that. So this is an example of static route. R1 is here. I have a remote network I don't know. So if PC1 want to communicate with PC3, the remote network should be in my routing table to say, you want to go there. I know where to forward your packet. Then it's send. If R1 doesn't know, it can either discard or send back to the ISP, and that delays. So to manually add a remote network, this is the config. IP root, the remote network and subnet mask. You see remote network, subnet mask. Via what? I can say via my interface S011 or via next hop interface or next hop IP, and you see. So here, next hop IP. So IP root, remote network, subnet mask, and the IP address of the next hop here, this interface. So IPv4, IPv6. So this one is important. You can also check. Okay, so we have a lot to do. So when we'll do PTSA revisions part 2, we'll focus more on the router. All these things will do a lot. Okay, dynamic routing table. If I have my router 2 has its own table, R1 has its own table, we compare. If I don't have something, I grab for the other guy, if the other one, until we have the same routing table. So we share. So let me add someone with meeting. Who is it? You can also check this slides, very important also, with sharing. Okay, we continue. So in case R1 doesn't know where to forward your packet, he'll send to the ISP. We call it via a default route. You can also check this, very important. Okay, we continue. Uh, yeah, so to view your routing table in the privilege mode, you tap show IP route. Then it will list all the networks the router knows about. How I know about this route? There is a code. If you want to view IPv6, you tap show IPv6 route. So we have a lot to do. Administrative distance is so let's say you want to go somewhere, you have two options. One is cheaper, the other is more expensive. You can take the cheapest way. Or one way is not safe, the other one is very safe. You take the safest one. So administrative distance is we see trustworthy. Yeah, it's something like that. So the router, if a router knows many ways to reach destination, it will grab either the cheapest one for the cost or the one that is more safe. So yeah, you can read here. Okay, we continue. There is also, yeah, so this for you stable, you must know it. So the more you practice, the more you know. So each road or each protocol has a cost or yeah, something like that, administrative distance. For now, it looks strange, but the more you do, okay, static, dynamic, okay, these ones. So when a router will choose the option of dynamic, when static, if it's not a big network, you can manually add. But if it's a big network, it's good to use a dynamic routing protocol. And by the way, most of the time we use dynamic routing protocols. So you can try to compare a bit, especially you see, this one is suitable for simple. When it's too simple, not big, it's fine. You can yourself manually add. But when it's too big, but most of the time we use the dynamic routing protocol. So as you know, if you cannot see my screen or you cannot hear me or I'm muted, please call me directly via WhatsApp because I cannot check and I cannot see what's happening. Okay, these are since IT started or routing started, 1982 with these, then it starts. So nowadays we use a lot OSPF. ISIS is more for ISPs, internet service providers, but companies we use a lot OSPF. So you can also check that, important. Mm. Okay, I think the last slide, we are done for this chapter. Let's check dynamic. Okay, so when it comes to dynamic routing protocols, we have many, but the most used are OSPF. Exterior gateway protocols is mostly for ISPs, internet service providers. But for us in companies, we use interior gateway protocols, distance vector or link state. We use a lot OSPF. EIGRP is mostly root Cisco, but 90% of everything we use OSPF. If in your company everything is Cisco routers, you can use also EIGRP. Okay, what else we can check properly? Yeah, so that's all for this chapter is to tell you a router. Inside we have a routing table, how that route has been listed, the codes, the difference between static routing protocol, dynamic routing protocols, administrative distance, and all this stuff. So you can quickly have a look on this quick summary, and yeah. Wednesday we continue with the last two, and we start a lot of labs to practice for your exam. Okay, so we are almost done. So today we did a bit of chapter 14, routing concept. Wednesday we'll do some configs. I'll do a demo. I can take you in a lab and do a live demo for you for IP with static routing. In the old days, we had to configure a lot of dynamic routing, but Cisco remove it and we stick with the IP. After that, we'll get how to troubleshoot a network the same way we did for VLAN troubleshooting. Normally VLANs we should communicate, but yeah, I think two weeks ago at CPUT we did that lab to fix VLANs. So that's all. We are almost done for your CCNA2. Well done. And any questions before we close? Yeah, so this one we'll do on Wednesday. How to configure. We have normally 5 ways. So here it shows 4, but we have 5 ways of, we should know each of them. So it's really a lot of configurations. So I can do a demo, and while I'm doing the demo, I explain. Yep. Okay, thank you very much, guys. So please don't forget to do all your chapter exams. And yeah, also practice with your PTSA, and you'll be fine. Thank you very much, and see you on Wednesday.